students, and our today's topic is brachial plexus. Yes, this is the most difficult topic of the upper limb, so watch till the end. And this is a very complex diagram that you are seeing here. And to understand this diagram, first I'll tell you how to draw a simple diagram, and then you can jot down the other things. First, let's concentrate on how to draw the simple diagram. So here I have the simplest form of the diagram of the brachial plexus, right? So I'll explain you everything in detail, so you don't need to worry. Now, firstly, when you have to draw the brachial plexus, you have to keep this outline in the mind. RTDCB: root, trunk, division, cord and branches. So root are 5 in number, trunk are 3 in number, division are 6 in number, cord are 3 in number, and branches are 5 in number. Now these branches are the main 5 branches. Now let us see what are the roots, trunk, division, cord and branches, how are they forming here. So now as you can see, this is the very simple diagram, and how to extend it I'll show you in the next page that I have written. And now let's concentrate on how the roots are. So this is C5 root, this is C6 root, C7, C8 and T1. These are the 5 roots. So all you have to do is, to form the root, is the straight lines, 5 straight lines, right? So now what you have to do is, you have to join the C5 and C6 root, you have to join C8 and T1 root. C7 root is not joined. So when you join this and extend, you get the upper trunk. When you extend the C7 branch, you get the middle trunk, and when you extend the C8 and T1, joining them, when you extend it, it forms the lower trunk. So all you have to do is just extend it. Now when you know up to here, what you have to do is, you have to divide all the 3 trunks into 2 branches. As you can see, each trunk is divided into 2 branches, right? So when you form these 2 branches, that is anterior division of one branch, one trunk, then posterior division of the other trunk. So upper trunk has 2 divisions, anterior and posterior. Middle trunk has another 2 divisions, anterior, posterior. Lower trunk has 2 divisions, anterior, posterior. So now this forms the division. So as I said, there are 6 divisions. Now you can see 3 trunks, you can see, and root are 5. So this is very easy till here. Now this complicates here, but this I'll make you very easy for you. Now anterior division. First we have to focus only on the interior division. Now when you focus on anterior division, the anterior division of upper trunk and middle trunk combines to form the lateral cord, right? And the anterior division of the lower trunk simply forms the middle cord. It does not combine with anyone and forms the middle cord. Now we are done with all the interior divisions. Now come to the posterior division. The posterior division of upper trunk, middle trunk and lower trunk. All the 3 are combining and forming the posterior cord, right? So this is how this diagram is formed. Now when you have the 3 cords, now it gets very easy. You have to just form the 5 branches, right? So how you are going to form the 5 branches? The lateral cord, middle cord and posterior cord itself are forming the 3 branches. All you have to do is combine the lateral and middle cord to form another branch, and one branch from the posterior cord, right? So the lateral cord itself produces one branch, as I said, that is musculocutaneous nerve. Now lateral cord and medial cord combines to form the median nerve. The middle cord extends to form the ulnar nerve, the posterior cord extends to form the radial nerve, and the other branch that is coming from the posterior cord, that is forming the axillary nerve, right? So this is the very simple form of the brachial plexus that I have shown you in this diagram. Now let's move to something not complex, but complex than this. So this is just the same diagram that I have drawn in the previous page. But what I have done in this diagram is, I have shown all the branches of lateral, middle and posterior cord. Now lateral cord has 3 branches. The number 1 is the lateral root of the median nerve, musculocutaneous nerve, and the other branch is lateral pectoral nerve. So I have just extended one branch. In middle cord I have extended 3 other branches, and in posterior cord I have extended 3 other branches. So all you have to do is, you have to extend 1 from lateral cord, 1 branch from lateral cord, 3 branch from middle cord and 3 branch from posterior cord. So the 3 branch from the middle cord are medial pectoral nerve, medial cutaneous nerve of arm and forearm. The posterior cord, you have upper and lower subscapular nerve and nerve to latissimus dorsi. It is very easy. If you just rewind the video and see it again and again, you will understand within, if you repeat this 2 times, you will understand the whole concept. Now for remembering the middle cords branches, you have the mnemonic, that is triple MU. Well, it won't be triple MU, but it would be 4MU. And then you have posterior cord ulnar. So this has 5 branches, posterior cord has 5 branches, and lateral cord has 3 branches. The main branches are 5, as I have shown in the previous page. There are 5 main branches, but these are the other additional branches that you can see in the lateral, middle and posterior cord. Now here, as you can see, I have extended 2 branches from the upper trunk. Now these 2 branches are suprascapular nerve and now to subclavius. And from C5 I have again arises a branch that is dorsal scapular nerve, and C5, C6, C7 combines to form the long thoracic nerve. So these are the add-ons to the previous diagram that I have done. Now the point that you can see in pink, that is the Erb's point. Now what is Erb's point? Here there are 6 nerves meeting over here, and any damage to it causes Erb's palsy. So this is the Erb's point, which is very favorable to cause Erb's palsy. Here the 6 nerves are meeting, Erb's palsy. If upper trunk is damaged, it causes the Erb's palsy. Whereas when the lower trunk is damaged, it causes the Klumpke's palsy. The clinical aspect, I will deal with the clinical aspects of the brachial plexus in the next lecture. For this lecture, you have to just know how to draw the diagram of the brachial plexus, and the second part is remember the root values of the branches. Now root values of the branches. The lateral cord has 3 branches, as I said. Medial cord has 5 branches. Posterior cord has 5 branches. Now you know the branches. Each branch is LLN, lateral pectoral nerve, lateral root of median nerve, musculocutaneous nerve. All the 3 branches has the root value C5, C6 and C7, right? In the medial cord, we have medial cutaneous nerve of arm, medial cutaneous nerve of forearm, medial root of median nerve and medial pectoral nerve, and the ulnar nerve. So as I said, 4 times M and U. This is what you have to remember, because medial, when you see medial, you have M, so you have 4M here. So write the names of the nerves starting from the M and the ulnar nerve, right? So all the 4 has the root value of C8 and T1, but the ulnar nerve additionally has the C7. So C7 fibers reach by communicating branch from the lateral root of the median nerve, as we have seen in the diagram previously. Because a root is coming from lateral root of median nerve, that is from the lateral cord, there is one root coming that is joining to form the ulnar nerve. So that is why we have the C7 here. Now here I have underlined it with the green color and here with the orange color. The significance is all the branches has C5, C6 and C7. Here all the branches has C8 and T1, and here in the posterior cord all the branches has C6 in common. Now let's see the posterior cord. Now to remember posterior cord, you have the abbreviation ulnar. So ULNAR. Don't confuse here. U is not for, in ulnar, U is not for ulnar nerve. So U has from U you can remember upper scapular, subscapular nerve, lower subscapular nerve, nerve to latissimus dorsi, axillary nerve and radial nerve. Now it is important to remember here that nerve to latissimus dorsi is also called as thoracodorsal nerve, and the axillary nerve is also known as circumflex nerve. Now axillary nerve is known as circumflex nerve because it circles around the surgical neck of the humerus. And the radial nerve, it supplies all the 3 heads of the triceps brachii and is the thickest branch of the brachial plexus. Why it is thickest branch of brachial plexus? Because it includes all the roots C5, C6, C7, C8 and T1. So now you can remember radial nerve root very easily. Now you have to just concentrate on this 4. So upper and lower subscapular nerve has C5 and C6 as the root value. Now to latissimus dorsi has C6, C7, C8, and the axillary nerve again has C5 and C6, right? So here I am ending the video, and in the next lecture we will deal about the clinicals of the brachial plexus.